Welcome to another manga recap. I know I say this every time, but use headphones for this video. This video turned out amazing. The audio mixing is just next level. This episode will be about Ending Maker Part 2. All details will be pinned in the comment section. Without further ado, enjoy the video. All your stats permanently increased by 1. She turns around a bit scared. What was that sound? Well, you couldn't really call it a sound, it was like something rang in their head. YellowStorm was in bliss, she didn't know that she would get a title as well. What a score! Outboxer was just glad that she looked happy. And maybe this could make her forget about the fact that he awakened the furry wolf without telling her. Laughing at her, he tells her that she's right, now why don't they get their reward? Not a chance. With one swift move of her magic wand, he fell onto the ground. Before they get the reward, she wanted him to promise that he will never do this again. He had to give her a heads up before awakening a boss. Damn, she's mad. Seeing how angry she was, he stumbles his words saying that he promises to do that. She wasn't going to just let it slide. After all, he was an asshole for scaring someone like that. He gets up apologizing and thinking that he can't tell her that he purposely fell to attract its attention because it looked like it was targeting her. Still, now it was time for them to collect their rewards. 2 books were floating above them. I think they're skill books. They got the promised rewards. Skill book, a book that lets you learn a skill just from reading it, single use. They raise their hands and each of them receive 1 book. YellowStorm was all giddy. This was her favorite part. What? Opening the items? It was exciting thinking about what they will get. Also, he said that he already knew what skill he would get, right? Yep, it's a step technique called 36 Heavenly Steps. 36 Heavenly Steps. It's a step technique that specializes in dodging, consisting of 36 individual steps. Depending on prophecy, it upgrades into an advanced martial arts. Hearing that, YellowStorm says that sounds similar to the 12 divine lighting steps he frequently used in the game. Well, she already knew how it is with martial arts names. The reality was that was because the 12 divine lighting steps was an upgraded version of the 36 sky steps. She was very sharp. This was a piece of hidden information that you need to know to obtain the skill. 36 Sky Steps is a B rank technique. Its next stage is the A rank 24 Tempest Steps. And after that is the S rank 12 Divine Lighting Steps. And if you evolve it 1 step further, you get the ultimate and ethereal step technique 9 Heavenly Concealment Steps. The last version of the spell is said to let you hide even from the heavens in just 9 steps. It was something he wasn't able to obtain even when he was Outboxer 009. Okay then, it was time to open her own spell now. She was really excited. Seeing her, Outboxer was laughing as well, she was just like a child. While laughing, she was wondering if she could get a skill that even Outboxer might not know about. Fire Missile, rank B, a fire attribute magic missile. After seeing the new spell, it looked like she was very satisfied. Jumping up and down, she said that she liked it, it was a very good spell. Seeing how happy she was, Outboxer tells her that he was glad that she liked it. Sitting down, he tells her that they got the rewards, so all that was left for them was to return. But before that, they could take a short break. Both of them were exhausted. The rush of fatigue from being relieved hit them hard. While laying down, she says that it looked like the necklace of the sun must be doing its job. If he didn't have it, he would have fainted from exhaustion just a few days ago. Smiling, he says, of course, it was an item he got thanks to someone special to him. She was not buying it, she was just a sweet talker. His non-blocked in pathways was slowly being cured, and now both of them were above level 10 now. Then they should move on to the next stage. By the next stage, she meant that, right? The Invasion of the Demon Hand event. As expected of a no-lifer, she knew the answer instantly. Laughing a bit, she says that was her line. Characters in Legend of Heroes 2 each have their own main scenario. Of course, no matter who you played as, every ending is the end of the world. But setting that aside, the scenario that people have said shows how rotten the morality of the devs were was Cordelia Chase's main scenario, aka the character that YellowStorm was playing right now. Cordelia's story starts from her leaving on a journey to attend a friendly social gathering amidst the 12 children of the northern clans. As a reference, Udher's starting point in the main story is half a year after Cordelia's. After a peaceful tutorial at the Earl's Chase place-like mansion, the sub-events that constantly happen after leaving the mansion, and enjoying the hidden events discovered by users. On the day of the massive event that is the social gathering, by the hand of the demon worshippers called Demon Hand, the peaceful social gathering descends into chaos. Due to that, most of the children of the 12 clans that participated in the party are either killed or kidnapped and brainwashed. From the mess, Cordelia manages to escape by the skin of her teeth, but having lost her guards who were like family to her, as well as friends that she reunited after such a long time. It's a hellish scenario where you start off alone in a remote forest after a very long escape. Because it was a forced event, there was nothing you could do other than skip it. Rightfully so, everybody on the forum was absolutely annoyed. Why was Cordelia's scenario supposed to be this dark and sad? There was only half a month left until the demon's hand attacks the social gathering. According to the game, Cordelia is the only one who survives that attack. He gets up saying that there's no need to follow a doomed scenario, which she instantly agrees. Going alone with the game is going to bring nothing but the Armageddon ending. They need to make a new happy ending. And the way to start that is to first stop the demon hand. Outboxer agreed they can't lose a powerful ally like the 12 northern clans for nothing. While biting her nails, she also realized that she wants to save Dahlia. She was going to protect her. She was not going to let her die like a sacrificial NPC while protecting Cordelia. Seeing her facial expression, Outboxer understood what was going on. Cordelia Chase and Dahlia Ale. Just because she gained memories of her time on Earth doesn't mean that her memories of living in the Blades have disappeared. She has both her memories of enjoying the Legends of Hero 2 and her memories of living and growing up there. To Cordelia, whose night escort she treated like her own sister, getting her memories of the video game was fundamentally the same as seeing a vision of the future where she would lose her family. The violence in Cordelia's story probably hits harder for her than anyone else. He still sees her very strongly as YellowStorm, but at the end of the day, she's the one and only Cordelia. While playing with her hair and looking a bit embarrassed, she turns towards him. Speaking of, in the game, Udher Bale couldn't attend the social gathering due to his 9 blocked-in pathways. But that isn't the case anymore, is it? Well, it was true that it has gotten a lot better, since his dear Miss Cordelia helped him obtain the Necklace of the Sun. This was driving her crazy, that damn silver tongue of his. What? It's not like he said anything wrong. Oh well, whatever. Anyways, since he got a little bit better, a bit shy while playing with her hair, she was trying to find the courage to say what she wanted to say. He was going with her to the social meeting, right? Hearing that, he was a bit surprised. He takes a second to think. There was never an attend to the social gathering scenario for Udher in the game. But the reason he rushed treatment for his condition was to make this change for history in the first place. She had nothing to worry about. There it was, that silver tongue of his again. Well, if his dear Miss Cordelia wishes it to be so, of course he will. While pulling her hair out of anger, she yells at him to stop it. She was getting goosebumps. The next day, he was on the training grounds. Once again, he was running laps around the courtyard. While catching his breath, he couldn't help but think to himself that 10 laps in the morning is so hard for him. Somebody approaches him saying that this was a fantastic result. His record has improved and his stamina was increasing day by day. At this rate, he could start learning the Bale's household martial arts as soon as the Count returns. Victor Cromwell, a retired knight who has served the Bale estate for many years. Laughing it off, Outboxer says that he is looking forward to it. This young man had such a dazzling expression when he is covered in sweat. It's of he's forgotten the pain he's in because of his eagerness to learn the art. There was no need to be frustrated or disappointed in himself because he was starting later than most of others. With his talent, he will be able to make up for his slow start in no time. He replies that he will keep his words in mind. The old guy was tearing up. To think that young Master Yuder, who had been suffering and frustrating due his 9 blocked-in pathways, would progress to the point where he's growing every day. Truly, the blessing of the Bale household. He really wished the Count to return back home so that he may see the valiant visage of his son as soon as he will be able. But Outboxer was thinking that Yuder is a genius in martial arts. The fact that he's starting later than the others doesn't even count as a penalty. Out of nowhere, somebody was running towards them calling out for the young master. She was getting closer and closer while yelling. There she was, it was Maya. He was a bit surprised. What was the matter? Why was she so surprised? She's so beautiful, holy shit. She takes a second to catch her breath. Correspondence from the Chase County has arrived. The old man was all giddy. Did Miss Cordelia send a letter to their young master? He was a bit confused. Did something happen with YellowStorm? The correspondence was not from Miss Cordelia. It was from Cordelia's Chase's father, Count Arthur Chase. He instantly realized what was going on, and he didn't like what he was expecting. Even so, he was absolutely shocked by this news. A little bit later, he arrived in Chase County. He still didn't believe that this was happening. Just how did he get there? He remembered the letter saying that he should visit the county, that he could discuss about the recent actions he's taken with Cordelia. But he was so nervous that he couldn't even remember how he got there. Nice. I like how their characters slowly start to mesh into one. Like, if you take only the guy who's playing the game, he would not be so concerned to piss off YellowStorm's father, right? But because their personality mesh together, they become one character. He was losing it. What sort of person was Count Chase like anyways? He kinda seemed like a dimwit from Cordelia's story. Maybe that's why he called for him there. Maybe he wants him to explain why he took his daughter and ran to the flowers fields. Or maybe they were caught having their secret meeting. He couldn't find out the answer. There were too many possibilities in his mind. Bringing him back to reality, somebody calls out his name. It was Maya, saying that he had no reason to be nervous. The two of them were in an engagement officially, so nothing could happen. So a little deviation from the norm should not be a problem, but she was shaking. Well, Miss Cordelia's father will be his father-in-law in the future. She was sure that he understood that. For now, Maya was right, he had to calm down. He just wanted to meet the person who will be his son-in-law face to face. But wait, hold on a second. Father-in-law, so that meant that this place will be his in-law's house. This was on an even worse train of thought to go into. He was going nuts. What should he say? He was screaming inside. But once again, somebody calls out his name. It was... what's her name? I don't know why I can't remember her name. Ladia? I'm not sure. Oh, it was it was Dahlia, not Ladia. Okay, close one. She tells him that she will escort him to the drawing room. He tries to ask her about Miss Cordelia. He gets the replies that she does not yet know about the Lord's Count invitation. She has called only for the young master to be there. So what she was saying was the fact that there was no time for them to figure out a plan before he enters the boss room. She gently knocks on the door saying that she brought the young master. Hesitating a bit, he gets ready to enter. Okay, I know how to remember her name. The band Hollywood Undead has a song Young Dahlia, and now I know how to remember it. She points towards the door, inviting him in. The Count was waiting for him. Somewhere else, he was wondering that maybe it was because the weather's become chilly, but there were monsters appearing in various places. They had to make sure that the city was not affected. Damn, look at him! Well, the expedition was for the sake of that. Their goal was to take out as many monsters possible before heading back. Alex Bale, one of the Celion Kingdom's 10 great swordsmasters. Also, obviously, he was Yuda's father. Of course they should, but what was he looking at? Wait, is this his son as well? Okay, so Outboxer has a brother, basically. Nice. He was reading a letter that Victor sent them. Sir Victor, did anything happen? He was talking about Yuda. He said that Yuda has become a lot healthier. Also, it seemed like he was able to learn martial arts right away. Really, was he cured now, or what happened? While he was not fully cured yet, thanks to the sun's necklace that he found while he was out with Lady Cordelia, he's been slowly recovering. The sun's necklace, amazing. Meeting Lady Cordelia, that was Yuda's greatest blessing. Arthur would probably be happier to hear that. Who is Arthur? Oh, okay, Arthur is YellowStorm's father, Count Chase. Smiling a bit, he says that they rested enough. Should they go? He better not overwork their subordinates just because he was impatient. Of course, he already knew this. But he really wanted to go back quickly to see Yuda now that he was healthy. Gale Bale, the next count of the Bale family, Yuda's older brother. He was wondering if his little brother was doing well. His little brother was in danger. Outboxer and YellowStorm's father were sitting at a table sipping tea. It felt like what he's recovered thanks to the sun necklace has disappeared in an instant. That nervousness was causing his insides to stiffen and his hands and feet to become cold. It felt like he was facing Lee's gang. Outboxer was watching him while Arthur was slowly sipping tea. Arthur Chase, a longtime friend of Count Bale, they both rank among the 4 strongest in the north. He was also known as the Crimson Tempest, one of the handful of battle mages within the Celion Kingdom. That was the Yellow Tempest. In the original scenario for Yuda, he rarely meets with Cordelia's father, Count Chase. Since Yuda was sick all the time, they naturally drifted further apart. Due to Cordelia going missing in the social gathering, the engagement would be broken off. But it didn't look like this was the case anymore. While sipping tea, he couldn't help but think to himself that this was another change that was not in the original scenario. His thought gets interrupted by the very strange flavor of the tea. Probably the maid made a huge mistake because it was really sweet. He didn't think that this would actually happen in a Count family though. Or was this done on purpose? In that moment, Arthur starts speaking. He's heard a few things. The silence was so heavy. He had no idea what he should do or what he should say. Arthur continues saying that he heard that in one of their runaways. This was enough to drive Outboxer crazy. Should he kneel down first? That he obtained a life-changing opportunity. In that moment he realized what he was talking about. They were lucky enough to obtain the sun's necklace. When saying that, he grabs it and hands it to Arthur. The greatest treasure of a religious order, a sacred relic. It looked like he's obtained quite an amazing opportunity. Arthur could feel the energy of extreme yang constantly being radiated just from holding it. He was not saying anything about the runaway. Maybe he was just interested in the sun's necklace because he was a mage? He never thought that this would have this much yang energy. It looks like the other item was now useless. Pardon? Other item? What was he talking about? While handing him a small box, he says that since he's already brought it there, he can have it. Outboxer had no clue what this was not in the original scenario. He was telling him this in advance, but it wasn't anything great. A little bit confused, he thanks him for the gift. He was giving that to him, so it was okay to open, right? The moment he opened the box, the item was shining so bright that it scared him. Yang Energy Pill, a medicine that contains a strong yang energy. It's one of the medicines used to cure the 9 severed meridians. He was starstruck. This was a freaking amazing item. Still a bit shocked, he manages to thank Arthur. After that, he continues. This was based on what he heard. Cordelia held him as the two of them jumped off a cliff. Was that true? Thinking back on it, he mumbles his words saying that was the truth. He couldn't bring himself to tell him that she carried him on her back as well. It was pretty embarrassing. Lord Arthur was a bit annoyed. What a weak brat. Outboxer had no idea what was going on. Why was he annoyed now? Handing him another box, he says that this is a fruit that increases one's strength. Everyone that was around him were just mages that only need enough strength to hold the staff. He could have this instead. Outboxer was a bit embarrassed. This was not going the way he expected. But a fruit that increases strength? While slowly opening the box, he was thinking to himself that it just can't be. Berry of Strength, a fruit that increases a small amount of strength permanently. Again, he was shocked. It was really the Berry of Strength. This was an item that was really hard to come by at the start of the game, and he was just giving this to him? Lord Arthur continues. They said that the Young Energy Pill and the Berry of the Strength both tasted bitter. For the third time now, he got shocked again. The tea was intentionally made super sweet so he could eat those. He was actually super friendly. While Arthur was calmly sipping on his tea, he was basically poker-faced. For a change of pace, we are now back in YellowStorm's dormitory. She was lying in bed. I think she was sleeping and now she was slowly waking up. She slept so much. Also, that bed looks hella comfy. But why did she feel so stuffy? What do you mean stuffy? What does that mean? Lord Arthur was being very considerate. On top of giving him the Young Energy Pill and the Berry of Strength, could it be that he's actually that nice of a person? No, even more than that. He seemed to like him a lot. For some reason, Arthur was watching his hand. He coughs a bit, saying that ring... Well, that was the ring that he sent him previously, right? He's always worn it since then. The reason that Yuda bailed as the fiancé of Cordelia Chase. The reason was because of the prenatal engagement that Count Bale and Count Chase made. Because marriage will take place regardless of what the relevant parties want. The two of them were awkward around each other. Since they were nobles, things needed to look good on the surface, so he sent him a couple of things. Yeah, so about that ring, throw it away. The silence was painful. He had no clue what to respond. Huh? Throw it away. Why? That came out of nowhere. Random picture of the mansion, but I will just slap it here because it's so well drawn. A bit confused and scared, he asks him why did he say that out of nowhere. Well, he was the only one wearing it anyways, right? Now that he mentioned it, he's never seen her wear the ring. Lord Arthur said that he heard she lost it accidentally. Since he was thinking of making a new one, this worked out just great. So he had no reason to pursue this matter anymore and just move on. Well, it's more likely that she threw it away instead of losing it. She probably went something like, fuck this, why would I marry Outboxer? Throws with all her strength. He finally agrees, he will do that. He thought that this was going to be bad. He was so nervous because he thought that he wanted to break off the engagement. This is basically what he imagined. But now he knew for sure. He was just someone who is honest and unable to hide his feelings. He already knew it, but Cordelia is indeed his daughter. Also, there was only one more matter. He heard that he will be attending the social gathering together with Cornelia. Oh my god, sly fox, he replies with yes, father. Hearing that, Lord Arthur was a bit taken aback. He blushes a bit but plays it off coughing. He was not sure if he will be able to survive the journey to social gathering with such a weak body. He knows that stamina is needed for long journeys. The Berry of Stamina, this was definitely it. Again, he thanks him properly, he was giving him so many gifts. After that, he says that they were done there. At the end of the meeting, he ended up with about 6 different gifts. While Lord Arthur was looking cool as hell, he excuses himself and leaves. He was so full, but he could feel vitality circulating in his body. That's why he was feeling good even though he was so full. While leaving, he finally meets with Cordelia. Shit, it's weird that they have two names. Now I said Cordelia, but usually I say YellowStorm. This is weird. Seeing him, she was in total shock. What the hell was he doing here? Smiling as usual, he's like, hey, you're finally here. What in the world does he mean by you're finally here? When did he get there? Why did he not tell her before coming there? He tells her to calm down. He was invited there suddenly, so he didn't have time to contact her. Also, nothing happened pretty much. If there's nothing, then why would her father ask him to meet? Did he scold him, or did he ask him to break off the engagement? He's like, Lady Cordelia, as I took a long look at your mansion on the way in, the garden looked really beautiful. What nonsense was he spouting this time? Her speech mannerisms are seriously uncouth. Well, if it was alright with her, would she give him the honor of taking a stroll with her? They walked a bit and he explained her the situation. So what he was saying was that her father gave him a tons of items. Well, pretty much yes. He basically asked him to eat them, get stronger, and be the one to carry her instead. Of course, he didn't say it so openly. She instantly jumps saying, fuck, that's so cringy, she can walk by herself just fine. Well, he knew about what happened when they ran away to the flower fields. She was wondering what were they talking about for such a topic to come out. He should have told her that part first. After apologizing, he says that anyways, compared to the issue of them running away, it felt like he was more upset that she was carrying him. Really, was that all? She was worried over nothing basically. Of course that was all, he told her everything. Father and daughter were totally alike. Also that, is something that runs in the Chase family, huh? The only problem was that he gave him too many things to eat to the point where he felt like his stomach was going to burst. Wow, he was complaining about being too full, huh? Now he knows her pain from drinking all those mana potions in the dungeon. Right as she says that, she notices something interesting. A bit confused, he asks her what's wrong. His dark circles have disappeared. It looked like now he was really recovering from his sickness. Well, slightly dark under-eye circles are seen in chapter 7. He was looking so haggard before. He couldn't believe that she noticed that. She was more observant than he thought. But she was a little too close. Oh, was that? Is he getting shy? So, the next thing would be waiting for Count Bale, his father, to return. That would happen within 10 days. Hearing that, YellowStorm was pretty happy. Yep, now he was in condition to start learning martial arts. Nice, he was going to start preparing for the father's test quest? Yep, if he won't do that quest, he won't be able to get out of the Bale territory. Well, that was true. That's required in the order to start Yuda's main scenario. They are kind of OP now that they know everything that was going to happen. That's kinda, out of all their abilities, that's the most OP thing they have, knowledge. Starting from the time of the release of Legend of Heroes 2, there's been one non-mainstream character that users have neglected. One that starts with a sick body, a character that has a very low start. That character is Yuda Bale. Just like the other online games, Legend of Heroes 2 also have noble characters that are popular with users, and also unpopular characters that are neglected. Yuda is one of the lesser played characters among the unpopular ones. If Cordelia is a non-mainstream character because of her gloomy scenario and because it's hard to play, then the main reason why people avoid playing as Yuda Bale would be because of how frustrating Yuda Bale's character was. One of Yuda Bale's biggest weaknesses, the 9 severed meridians. They would get cured as the story progressed and he gets the Sunfire Carp. Count Chase actually gets it for him. It's like, I picked this up on the way. Yeah, nothing too insane. Of course, he was actually lying. I love Arthur. We need more people like Arthur. It takes around half a year of playing before he's fully cured. And within the first half of the year, before he gets cured, what those who are playing him can do is basically is to either look at the one leaf left at the tree while in the bed, faint from walking more than 10 minutes due to insanely low stamina, or create interesting and creative scenarios where you make Yuda faint. Yuda Bale is basically a handsome but sickly side character at the start, since a player would need to go through all that while playing Yuda Bale. Who would want to play such a frustrating character in a game? Yuda awakens his talent as the protagonist later on in the game, so he could understand why nobody wanted to play such a frustrating character. And even when he's cured of the 9 severed meridians, it was not the end yet. If he does not pass the Father's Test quest, he still can't leave the territory. Why did he even play Yuda when he was Outboxer? That was crazy. As for the second reason why that made Yuda a non-mainstream character, that would be the necessary quest to acquire his father recognition. After his 9 severed meridians was cured, also known as the Father's Test. In order to complete the test, Yuda Bale would have to go through training in order to meet Count Bale's standards. But because those standards were far above average, he had to be stuck within the mansion for 1 to 2 months, even after fully recovering. No one has discovered any method of completing that training quickly. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and running 10 kilometers every day. It's what the guy from One Punch Man said. But that didn't mean that there weren't any tricks that could be done outside of the game. But this wouldn't it take too long? He will make it in time for the social gathering, right? Right, well, about that. He didn't think that there will be any problem thanks to the necklace. The necklace? What about it? That was originally an item that could only have a drop rate of 3% in the game. That was quite a rare item. Didn't she think that they've gotten quite a big advantage just from obtaining the necklace? Even Count Chase thought that it was quite an amazing opportunity. Well, yeah, now that he mentioned it, she agreed. Plus, he always gets unexpected gifts from this place. She also thought that he looked healthier, right? He was wearing red, so he looked like Santa Claus. Which meant that he already met the standards? Well, pretty much yes. And also, smiling, he says that he also has her. She looks at him like he was crazy for a couple of seconds. What was that? Why did he laugh like that? He ignored her, but she really wanted to know why did he laugh like that? What was he planning? But anyways, they had to skip the nonsense and get to the topic. Count Bale, who went on an expedition, will soon return, and what, is he crazy? How was she supposed to say such an embarrassing thing to Count Bale? He didn't write when they should meet. Was she supposed to send him a reply or what? Right as she was thinking that, somebody calls out her name. It was Dahlia. Count Chase had a message for her. The Count's close friend, the father of Sir Yuda, Alex Bale, will be coming back from his expedition today. The Count has instructed her to prepare and head to the Bale family for his welcoming party. There's no way that Outboxer predicted all this, right? 2 days later, 12 PM, Bale family dining room. How did she end up there? She remembered taking the horse carriage with her father in the morning. Why is she there? Why does she have to come as well? Looking at her and laughing a bit, he guessed that he was just like that when he went to visit her family. I mean, how can such a random event that didn't exist in the game appear out of the blue? In any case, the more he heard about what happened, the more he realized how fortunate the two of them were. He agreed. He couldn't believe that they found the sun's necklace while they were out looking at flowers. I guess that's the story they told to the people. His brother quickly thanks Cordelia. Not only that, she is the goddess of luck for Yuda, but also for the Bale family. She didn't know how to react to such a compliment, but her father, she was like, yeah, that's right. His brother was all smiles. YellowStorm was like, fuck, I feel like I'm going to puke. His brother interpreted it as her being embarrassed. Yuda, that brat, he's really blessed. Now that their meal was coming to an end, Cordelia, hearing her name, she jumps on the chair. He heard from Yuda that she had something to ask of him. May he know what that was. Oh my god, he planned this. This was his plan all along. Realizing what was going on, she started to stumble her words. He knew that this would happen. She was really nervous. He would like to ask on her behalf. Okay then, very well, go ahead. He would like to take part in the social gathering that was about to take place. The social gathering that was to be held in Langast, in the city of commerce, right? That was right, his brother attended a few years ago. It's a gathering where the miners of the 12 northern families gather together. Yuda was qualified to participate. Well, it was right, Yuda was part of the Bale family. Thus, it was customary for him to participate as well. But it was very hard to imagine him going out of the territory when he hadn't even held a sword before. He should start preparing, he will charge through the front. Hearing that, YellowStorm realized what she needed to do, but she didn't want to do this. She really hoped that Outboxer was sure that this will work. He's like, well, we'll only know after we try. The Bale family is a martial arts family. In order to leave the house, you need to possess the abilities in order to protect yourself at least. Before he could give him permission, that was her cue to go. She knew that she had to intervene, but she couldn't find her words. She says that she would really love to go with Sir Yuda to the gathering. But deep inside, she's like, fuck this, I don't want to do this. His father's like, I see. He tries to explain to Cordelia that Yuda was pretty sick up until recently. Arthur was like, that stubborn temperament of yours is still the same. The Sun's necklace is a sacred relic of the Sun's God's religious order. It was an item that Garius, the most reputable paladin of the Sun, wore. He didn't suppose that he thought that it was truly just by luck that his son obtained such an amazing item. He was well aware that his son was lacking in some ways. But his opinion was that his son has already proven that he was capable enough. He's like, Arthur, I look like some uptight person if you put it like that in front of my son. He's like, good job, father-in-law, that was awesome. Well, he was not wrong though. And she was not done yet. Oh my god, she's beautiful. She's like, that's puppy eyes, those are puppy eyes. She truly hoped that he could permit him to go. Deep inside, she was like, bleh. Arthur was ominous. She's put herself out like that. He wasn't going to reject her, right? That was Chase's family's combined attack. Alex Bale has fallen into confusion. Well, if that's the case, alright, they'll have to do this then. He heard from Victor that he was finally able to learn martial arts. He will enter into training starting that afternoon. Hearing that, both of them were surprised. He was quite a strict teacher, so he better try to keep up. Arthur is like, considering you just came back this morning, you sure have good stamina. What, wasn't he trying to get him to do this? That's what he interpreted. What? Count Bale was going to teach him personally? That was insane. Well, it looked like that, right? This never happened within the game, not even once. Could this be an additional reward? YellowStorm was ecstatic. She never expected things to turn out like that. Same for him. The sun necklace did help a little, but he was so glad that he showed it to her father. He didn't think that he'd be on their side just because he showed it to him. But this was really fascinating. He thought that he was just getting through a troublesome event. To think that his father would be teaching him personally. This time it was her turn to watch him quietly. Even though he's happy from being able to learn from Count Bale personally, it was obvious that he was also excited that this was an event that never happened in game. Although she likes it as well, game freaks who love new events. He was always going on and on about his 9 severed meridians. What if he actually trains him and goes, this won't do, I won't allow you to leave? Since when did he always talk about it? Plus, might he remind her that his sickness has gotten a lot better? Since he's already learned the 36 ultimate footwork, he should be able to meet his expectation. Also, he was expecting him to be quite surprised when seeing that. Well, if he can't make it, then she will go to Langast alone. And she will have to do her best in completing her main scenario alone. Ha! What was he mumbling about? Does he want the world to get destroyed? Whatever, even though he was talking like that, she was sure that he will make it. After all, he was outboxer. She also tells him to not overdo things and get hurt. He had to be careful. This surprised him a bit. She really resembles her father. Of course she resembles her father. Who else? No, he's not talking about appearances. Well, never mind. His father was really good looking though. But he has small eyes, but it doesn't make him look laid back. He looks like he has no weakness. She guessed that's why he looks a little cold. But he also looked really warm and friendly when he smiled. She was really glad that she got to meet such a person. Seeing them, Dahlia was calling out to YellowStorm. It looked like it was time to head back. She will get going then. She will get the things he asked her to prepare for the event, so he had nothing to worry about. Waving at her, he tells her to take care. He couldn't help but stare at her while she was running away. It was nothing serious. But is Yuda not supposed to look like his father? He takes a second to think about it. Did that mean that she likes the way he looks as well? Nope, let's not think too much about this. Maya was already behind him concerned. Did he have a headache? No, he was alright. 4 days later at the Bale County. Oh my god, she looks so nice. Look at her costume, damn. Both of them were so stiff they could die. They trained like crazy by themselves at home for 4 days. But how is it? Does she have any results from the past days? Smirking, she says, of course, she will show him at the valley. Ahem! Lord Arthur spawns out of nowhere. He says that he's so delighted that he will be able to go with Lady Cordelia. Of course, her as well. To be traveling with Sir... what do you say? She was very much looking forward to it. Out of nowhere, Dahlia tells them that the preparations have been done. Okay then, they'll be there soon. And just like that, one by one, they get inside. Then Yuda, Cordelia have a safe trip. Also, they better not get injured. Of course, they'll be heading off now. Look at her face, how is she so fucking adorable? And just like that, their trip started. Even the weather was absolutely perfect, the sun was bright and the wind was gentle. Dahlia and Maya were driving the carriage. I swear, Dahlia looks okay, but Maya, she looks so cool. Alright, since it was just the two of them now, they had to check to be sure that there won't be any problems for the event. First, did she pack the correct supplies? Of course, she packed the bag and dressed perfectly this time, so he had nothing to worry about. She was so reliable. If he knows that, he better be grateful. He needed this magic elixir and towel, right? After saying that, she hands him a couple of items. He was planning to draw a magical circle inside the towel, right? Won't he get motion sickness from the carriage shaking? Nah, he'll be alright, he'll be drawing it when he's resting. She had nothing to worry about, so better go and get some sleep. Roger that, she was going to because her eyes got so dry from reading. This was a good thing, she better take some good sleep in advance then. If things will proceed exactly the same as the game, then he was sure that they will be needing to go around the long route soon. And you already guessed it, the next morning the path was blocked. Seeing this, Dahlia approaches one of the riders that was nearby. He informs her that he found out that the bridge has collapsed and the road is blocked. This guy was June, escort knight appointed by Count Bale for Yuda Bale. Well, although it might be a hassle, there's no choice but to go back. Still, to go to the long way. It made her worried since it hadn't been long since young master recovered. Smiling, Dahlia says that Cordelia has been learning recovery magic for young masters, so it'll be fine. Although she had studied until dawn and has now fallen asleep. She also learned something dangerous like paralysis magic in the same time. Maya was touched. As for the detour, she was planning on using the road to the mountainside since it's less rough. Although it will take a day longer, she thought that it was the best option they had. She understood they couldn't do much since the bridge was collapsed. Out of nowhere, the knight interrupts them. He tells Maya to not worry. He will do his best to escort the younger master and lady safely and comfortably. And of course, Miss Maya as well as the escort knight. Ooh, my dude is hitting on Maya. He will put his life on the line and protect her. Look at how beautiful she is, damn. She's like, I think it's best if those things don't happen, but she will be in his care. Cordelia had one eye open. She heard as well. As expected, it's proceeding the same as the game. If it's the mountain pass detour route, then they will be able to do the hidden events as planned. She's like, no, not that. Huh? She asked him if he heard what his escort knight said to Maya just before. Well, yeah, he did. In the game, they only heard the sentence, they used a mountain path as a detour route. But to think that they would hear such a dialogue, was it because she came with him? She was absolutely excited. He thought that this sounded like a complete red flag. She looks at him without saying anything and he's like, what? Nothing. She shouldn't have said anything. But what is he eating while drawing, and what's up with that pouch? It was the medicinal pills that his father gave him. And that pouch is a money bag that his father gave him. He was just about to check how much money was in there. What? When did he give him that? She was getting jealous. Split it. Absolutely not. It was the money her father gave him, so why should he split it? Whatever, just split it equally. A little bit later, they arrived at the camp. The knight was resting next to the fireplace. She was so freaking nervous that they were going to get caught. It was a relief that they were able to sneak away easily. That was fucking unreal. She thought that she was going to die from being so nervous. They had to hurry and get rid of it and come back. Yep. The valley where the entrance to the event was that way, right? She was sure it was, but oh, she found the place. I swear, the artist, the artist who is drawing this, he is so talented. I'm in love with the drawing style of this manga. Cordelia chases hidden event which can be found on the detour route of the mountainside. It starts when the night turns dark, when Cordelia sneaks out of the campsite. The first time she experienced a rough travel and uncomfortable sleep. The reason was that she was feeling the pressure from the gathering of the children from the 12 prestigious families. The feeling of oppression that the youngest daughter of the Chase family held. Cordelia, who needed time to calm her exhausted mind and body, heads to the valley in the forest to wash off her sweat. What she saw when she was alone while trying to avoid the people's gazes was the night sky where the moon was so bright that even the stars looked dim. As if to repay the dazzling and beautiful moonlight that made her forget her fatigue, Cordelia started to sing. The sound of her singing spread throughout the valley. In awe of her voice, a mysterious being appears before her. The rest was omitted, and because Cordelia was swept away by the fairy-like development and fantasy atmosphere, while it may seem like this event is just meant as fan service, this event is jokingly called an essential element of Cordelia's play. That was because the reward was... She already knew this, right? This was something only Cordelia can do, so it's up to her. She didn't like this. She goes like, I don't wanna do it. I mean, what can she do? She's gotta do it either way. She knew what the reward was, right? And it's not like they were going to stop after getting the reward. She was quiet, but she knew that he was right. That was obvious. They needed to get as many items as they could. I know, right? That's why she brought her swimwear. He endured his motion sickness and completed that in the carriage. So they should start. She's like, okay, I will do it. I will complete it perfectly. She decided well. Back at the camp, the fire was still burning. Maya woke up saying that she was thirsty. Why does she have a bed? Where did she get that bed from during the forest? After stretching a bit, she notices something weird. Young Master Yuda was gone. What about him? This was not his event. Well, it's Cordelia's event, but he was here as well, so he had to share her pain. What kind of logic was that? Also, he didn't bring any swimming clothes. Right as he says that, he understands what was going on. When she said that she'll bring everything, she meant everything. She was smirking while giving him some clothes. Seeing that she was serious, he actually got scared. With his voice trembling, he tells her to calm down. He was planning to go and hide in the forest, and for sure he won't come out. Seriously? She went through so much trouble with him to get the sun's necklace. Now it was his turn to help. Well, he couldn't do it without her because he just couldn't walk. She can definitely do this without him. Says who? She needs him. Ah, she's so cute. With a trembling voice, she says that she feels embarrassed. They were together, but she's the only one who has to expose herself. He's like, I see. The silence was so painful. After a second, he finally concedes. Alright. He was going to wear it so she could give him the clothes. She laughs a bit, saying that that's what he should have said from the beginning. For the size, since they're about the same weight, it should fit, right? While talking, she stops for a second, saying that his lips are What is that word? It's not blush, it's blush? What is that? Okay, I looked it up. Apparently it means slightly blue. Oh, maybe it's because of the cold. Because of the 9-inch severed meridians, his body temperature is just a bit lower, so he couldn't tell that he was cold. She looks at him a little bit worried. Was it that cold for him? Well, now that he was aware of it, it did feel a bit chilly. They better get this over with and go back. She was feeling guilty. Also, look at that troubled expression. He tells her that he will go and change quickly, but she turns around annoyed. What was wrong? Forget it, better not wear it after all. He was clueless, like, huh? What's wrong? For us, it was pretty obvious what was going on, but she didn't have the courage to tell him. She was just worried about him, that was all. Looking away, she finally says that she doesn't want him to catch a cold. Hell, she can be nice. Putting aside her being, I quote, fucking embarrassed, she doesn't want him to catch a cold when he already has that weak body. She throws it away annoyed, saying that she shouldn't have brought it along. How should she know that it will be that cold? Fuck, why would Cordelia want to take a bath in such cold water? It's not like she rolled in mud or something. She should have just gone home instead of bathing. She may be vulgar, but she's really considerate of others. He tells her that he won't be the only one who's going to catch a cold. They better do this quickly, it was really cold there. She was annoyed, but in the end, she says her line. Roger. All this time, while she was changing, he was looking away, of course. After a while, he asks her if she's ready. Of course, being a bit shy, she tells him to wait a bit. She will kill him if he turns around now. What? She was wearing swimming attire anyways. Still a bit shy and annoyed, she's like, ugh, forget it. Okay, you can turn back. He turns around and starts to slowly walk towards her. Was she done changing? Alright then, as planned. You already guessed it. Her hair was slowly dangling in the wind. And of course, she looked gorgeous. How well is this manga drawn? I swear I love this style. My guy was so shocked that he forgot to speak. He already knew she was pretty, but now that he was looking at her like this was more than he expected. Seeing him, she starts speaking. What the hell was he looking at? If you watch until this point, come on, subscribe. Nothing. It was nothing. A pretty yellow tempest, but how rude she talks. She was going into the water now, so he better go and hide. She tells him that she will go into the water now, and he replies Roger, and she yells at him to not follow her. With just one step, she realized how fucking cold the water was. All her body was trembling. Who in the world would bathe in this? Why would anyone go into a creek in autumn? Cordelia was totally nuts. She realized that she also needs to sing. If she doesn't do this quickly, both of them will die of cold. She opens her mouth and gets ready to sing, and then stops. Wait a minute. What did Cordelia sing for this event? Since it was in Cordelia's memories, she should know it as well. A song that mentions stars, right? Well, a song with stars. She kept thinking about stars, planets, galaxies. Shit. She didn't know what to sing. She didn't remember what song it was. So she starts singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And she kept singing that children's song. Outboxer points to her that she needs to take a timeout. What was she doing? She needs to sing the song that was in the original scenario. Well, she can't remember what song it was. Any song with stars should probably work, right? Also, they were in reality, not a game, so they can't just simply pause it. A disaster. She was the one who said she will do it perfectly. But I guess it was still a song with stars. Even though the song was different, the person who was singing was the same. Well, it didn't feel as mysterious, but it should be okay since it's cute. Wait. Cute? While he was trying to calm himself down, he sees a bright light above him. He looks up and then smiles. There it was. And she was still singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. The more she sang, the closer the light got to her. She didn't even realize that, but at some moment she got interrupted. It was a fairy telling her that she is really pretty. They guessed that she would be surprised. It was alright, she could finish her song. The other fairy agreed, she wanted to hear the rest of the song. Seeing them, of course, YellowStar got a bit surprised and stopped singing. But why would she have a towel around her while she was bathing? How was she supposed to bathe like that? It didn't really matter, did it? She was still so pretty. Fairy, a fairy race that flies around freely. They only appear in Cordelia's exclusive quest. They were actually there. She managed to summon the fairies. How did she get that hair that's as pink as a rose? While playing with her hair, the fairy was saying that being pretty is the best. She was right, it was so exciting. It always feels great, being pretty is the best. Why did she stop her singing? She better finish the song. The fairy even offered herself to do it together. Wait, no, she didn't hear that song before, so she will just enjoy it first. It was exactly like the game, they were so obsessed with looks. So, in the end, her looks mattered more than her singing. In any case, things were going according to the plan so far. It was about time for that breath though. If it appears at the same spot it did in the Cordelia's original story, they should have enough time to respawn. But was it supposed to show up so late? Come to think of it, they forgot to introduce themselves. They were fairies. I mean, alright, she pretty much knew this before. They didn't know what her name was, but they wanted to come and play with her. The Queen's nightlife is about to begin. They really wanted to play together. The Queen likes pretty girls as well. She will be ecstatic to meet her. Wait, was it okay for them to bring a human to the banquet? How about they say she's a guest singer? That was a great idea. She was sure that everyone will like her because she's so pretty and can sing as well. She will play with them, right? Right? The truth was that she couldn't focus and they were so darn cute. She tries to master her words and give an honest reply, but at that moment something was coming. Outboxer was the first to notice. Since she was too distracted, he screams at her. He tells her to get out of the water. The fairies were a bit surprised. Who was he? He was handsome. No, rather than that, he's pretty? The other fairy agreed, he was so cute. His fair skin looked just like snow. YellowStorm was a bit surprised, but the bicorn hasn't appeared. The location of appearance has changed. The bicorn was hiding. The bicorn was hiding in the water. Right as he says that, there it was. All this time it was submerged underwater. She understood that she was in danger. She needed to move. And obviously the bicorn was well aware of her presence. And from it looked like he was getting ready to attack. She quickly turns around and sees it as well. A bit annoyed, she goes, "What the fuck?" Again, this did not happen in the game. She was in danger. Out of nowhere, she starts floating in a bubble made of magic or something like that. He starts running towards her and the fairies panic as well. It was a bicorn. A bicorn has appeared. Also, that was the bicorn's telekinetic power. She was in danger. Because of the telekinesis, she couldn't move her arms or legs. Outboxer was screaming at her, telling her to get out of there. That bicorn bastard was trying to take Cordelia somewhere else. But of course, the bicorn wasn't planning on letting her go. After flying for a bit, she ended up on his back. It was a level 21 bicorn, and Cornelia was helpless on his back. He yells at her, telling her that he's trying to take her away, but of course she already knew that. Duh. What? Why is that bicorn looking at her like a pervert? Is that a laugh? It's like a what is that? She needed to get out. But with her current magic power, she can't break free from the telekinesis that was binding her arms. In that case, she needed to resort to this. She raises her head and gets ready to do something insane. She hits the biker with her own head, and apparently she even had enough force. Outboxer and the fairies were left speechless. And the one who was the most surprised was the biker. He was actually hurt, but of course this was painful for her as well. Even so, she noticed it. Because of the shock, the magic was gone. She was free now. Without wasting a second, she jumps from the biker right back into the water. And while jumping, she throws the towel. With a big splash, she submerges into the water. The fairy was in awe. The pretty girl headbutted the biker and fell from above. What if she gets hurt? He was late to notice it, but in the end he did. The towel with the emblem was right above the biker. A big smile appeared on his face. Just as expected of Yellow Tempest, she plunged so deep into the water that in the end she hit the bottom. And while doing so, she hit herself, and I quote, "It fucking hurts." There it is, the fan service. Woo! She moves her hand around and reaches for her wand. After a second of struggle, she manages to grab it. This was her time to strike. One hand emerges from the water. He knew that she could do it. From within the river, 3 magic missiles appear. All of them were aimed towards the towel. 2 of them missed, but the third one hit the market with enough magic force to activate the circle. The towel became brighter and brighter, and so the fight starts. I know, I stopped the episode in the worst moment possible, but the next episode will come very soon. I will 100% continue this series because personally I enjoy it. And of course, if you enjoyed it as well, hit that like button, subscribe, comment something, it really helps out the channel. I didn't decide yet what I'll do for the next video, but whatever that is, as usual, I'll make sure that it will be something nice. That's it for now, see you next time.